this coming into my feed like earlier in the day. I have another video from let me pull that up right now so we have that on deck. Hold on. Rev, not yet. We won't talk to you just yet. Not just yet. I promise. I will talk about you. Because this is relevant. This news I'm seeing is relevant. So apparently Japanese censorship Persona 4 Revival bends to Westerners' outrage by removing insensitive jokes and scenes. Now, this is a subject that's being talked about in regards to Yasuke, and Persona 4. Persona 4. The premise of Persona 4 is that you move into this town that's in the sticks, and Yosuke. If memory serves correctly, Yosuke is a kid who tries extremely hard to be approachable, especially when our character is the new kid in town. He's trying to make friends with as many people as he can. He is insensitive to his jokes are bad, and that's supposed to be on purpose too. And on purpose too, because again, this is a game that was originally released in 2008, and then I think released a golden version in 2011. So a lot of his jokes are out of touch because like it's of that time. And so, anyways, the article, there's been an announcement that when it comes to Persona 4, that the Rebels confirmed changes to Yasuke's to better for the current era. Now, off the top, this reads as him being changed to make jokes, to make quote-unquote jokes, and jokes and jabs on the current era. So if he's making jokes about 2026 or 2027, I hope it's not him using internet language like chud, incel, or Zionist. That's the worst possible outcome out of this too. And he's a little bit insensitive in terms of how he treats outsiders sometimes, and that's crazy because our main character himself, he's an outsider to where he just moved in from out of town. He's in this town for a year where a lot of things happen, and Yasuke's arc is in a situation where he is making friends with you. But anyways, people have been having an outrage already. It's been crazy to where the outrage is like wild. Let me see what else. Let me see if I can get this. Let's see. Let's see. Let's do everything. It's even weird too, to where he calls us partner every chance he gets, because that's his gimmick. Persona Team General Producer Kazuhisa Wado spoke about the different changes made to Persona 4 Revival, making it more palatable for the current era, in contrast to 2008, where the original PlayStation Persona 4 was first released. And again, it reads as him. Yeah, because if anything else, like when they're remastering this, they're doing their best to frame the jokes, frame the mindset to the current era to the best of their abilities, right? They still want to keep it 2008 casual, but they but then again, like, I don't know if people want to remaster a game and make it they want the game and the game jokes to age well, right? So they're going to change it a little bit here and there. But again, the first thing everyone has to remember is that if you don't like this version of this remake, you can play the original version that is available too, which I think, according to Steam, hold on. The original, the version that you can play right now was released on Steam on June 2020, and Persona 4 Golden is the current version of the game that you can play in its like naturalness, if that makes sense. So let me see. This game is overall. Hold on, let me see. Let's check this out. So if you don't like the idea of Persona 4 Revival, if the game is not for you, you can still play this original game, because Persona, I believe it started with Persona 3, to where Persona 3 got re-released as Persona 3 FES, and then, because this game right here, Persona 3 FES, and then it got re-released and remastered multiple times, to where on the PlayStation Portable it was called Persona 3 Portable, and then we have Persona 3 yeah, the original, the one of the only, let me see, because I believe what's the only way to play, the only other way to play the original version of Persona 3 is the P3P version that is on Steam. P3P is the most current way to play the original Persona 3. If you have the PlayStation 3 before the store closes, I believe you can buy Persona 3 FES on the PlayStation 3 store before it closes. So that's another title you should probably grab when you get the chance to. Let's see. There's also Persona. Hold on. So there's that. And again, if you don't like the concept of Persona 4 Revival coming out, you can still play Persona 4 Golden, which is its latest iteration. And let me see. Persona 4 Golden in itself was released in when was it released? 2012. So in 2012 was when Persona 3 Golden was released, and this version is its most original form before the remake that's happening. So if you don't like the changes that are happening in Persona 3, Persona 4 Revival, you can play Persona 4 Golden. But again, like, since it's released to digital in 2020, it's been overwhelmingly positive. It's an experience, the best Persona ever made. Cinema will stand out as some of the best JRPG in the market. Again, I want to preface that to before anyone rages. You can still play Persona 4 Golden, but again, Persona 4 Revival is a game that I'm personally excited about. If you don't like it, I respect your decision. I will probably spend my money anyways. But let's go back to the article. During the interview, he explained that the team hasn't changed much about the story or the characters' thoughts or how they act or anything. Then added that they were changing just Yasuke, which again is a big problem in this current economy, because one of the current examples of this problem is that Sokka from Avatar: The Last Airbender. His misogynistic personality and his sexist viewpoints got changed over time throughout the course of Avatar: The Last Airbender, right? But the problem is like when they translated that to the Netflix show, almost all of that character growth has been removed, and in the second season, they try to remedy that, so he's a little bit more funny. He's the script writing made Sokka be a little bit more sexist again, a little bit more misogynistic again. So with Yasuke Hanamura, they may go down the direction of, hey, he's a little bit toned down. But again, like the thing is like they're mostly changing Yasuke. Really, they're mostly changing Yasuke to update his jokes, I think, to hopefully update X, Y, and Z. He wasn't very controversial at the time of the original release, but some of the controversial content involving him has not aged well. Most notably is his treatment of kanji and anyone he perceives as other or outsider related to the rest of his friends. And that's a very, like, it's a thing to look at when our character alone is technically an outsider because we moved in from a different city. But in reality, if you play the game in 2008 and in 2012, Yasuke is mostly, he is a little embarrassed with his own sexuality. I think that's the through line of Yasuke, is that he's really he's a little bit nervous when it comes to like male sexuality. He also is a catalyst for some of Persona 4's most perverted teenager tropes of the scene type of scenes. One of them, I believe, if I remember correctly, one of them was him convincing everybody to like peek on the girls while they're changing. Yasuke was the catalyst for some of the hijinks that were in like a sauna, because one of the girls one of the girls' families owns an inn and stuff like that. There are many reasons fans have speculated could fuel this behavior, especially as it is related to his sexuality and Kanji's perceived sexuality. Yeah, because I believe, for spoilers, for a almost 10 for a nearly 20-year-old game, this game, Kanji's story, when you get into it, it dives into the weird sexuality that he's not even aware of, because he is completely confused in my understanding, Kanji's confused to where he's confused because he's a super manly man, the best man you can ever have. He looks like a delinquent, and then people don't know that he does the girly thing of tending to like home ec things. He likes to sew. He does these dolls to help with like his grandmother, and he doesn't like the idea of people seeing his tendencies of like girly activities, and people think he's gay, because even he's not sure that he is gay, or he's just comfortable in his body, so there's a whole thing about that. At the core of it is that Yasuke represents a sort of bro archetype that doesn't fly as readily as it did nearly a decade ago. Wada-san describes Yasuke as he's a little bit insensitive in terms of how he treats other outsiders sometimes. So we want to lighten that up and make it a little bit more fitting to the world we live in now. Fans have already noticed other changes to lines from Yasuke, even though the small snippets of dialogue we've seen from his trailers, even in the small snippets. Okay, he originally had a line about the protagonist being good with his hands, a line which is now replaced to, "Actually, you do strike me as someone who'd be good at that." It is worth noting that small adjustments to Yasuke's character has been made in many of the spin-off games, with him being apologetic about some of his past behaviors and seemingly reflecting on what aspects of it may have been wrong. Yeah, so again, like it's crazy to where like his original character, he has the bro mentality of like guys do guy stuffs, and guys don't sew, guys don't tend to like with makeup or with dolls, like what's going on, bruh? And in the spin-off games like Persona Q, there is a Persona 4 Battle Arena game where he does become apologetic, and it's funny to where his growth extends into the spin-off games. But if you go down his social link to where in the game you can hang out with friends, and if you hang out with them long enough, you maximize that relationship. And in the journey of maximizing the relationship with Yasuke, I don't remember if he fixes that part about him during that journey, but he definitely grows out of his sexism, his misogyny, his sexist perspectives. He grows out of it throughout the game. Persona 4 Arrival is likely to make changes to dialogue to make the game suit the current era, something Wada said indicated during the interview. And yeah, he has, it's, in my opinion, I think that him getting updated is it's a good thing. It's a good thing to where, like, for people who want that difference, sure, we can definitely see what that looks like, right? But let me see. The change from the lines where it says, where he says like, "Hey, you look pretty good with your hands," to, "Hey, you do strike me as someone who'd be good at that." Again, I don't know what someone who'd be good at that would imply, but again, the changes are, again, it sounds minor because they during their interview in Anime Expo, they say that the game hasn't changed much about the story or the characters' thoughts or how they act, but they are updating the type of the type of phrasing that Yasuke says. So maybe it's a good change, maybe it's a bad change. Again, we don't know the full extent of those changes until we play into the 2027 game, because again, this game is going to be 19 years old, so there's a good chance that there's been some positive changes. And again, I don't know where the drama is going to be, but let's see what other people say. Snow J Campbell, let me see what you're trying to say. "Stop changing games to cater to crybabies. Christ, these people ought to have been gate kept much harder than they were, especially the localizers who push for these sort of things." Again, like that's the craziest thing. Like, I don't think that's the takeaway, because this is not what's going on. I don't know what you're talking about, because even the article in itself says that the producers are changing up the way he speaks to match the era. Especially with the localizers who's push, especially localizers. The localizers, I don't think, have anything to do with it, so I wouldn't know. Man, I really hate how they keep trying to sanitize everything. Character flow. Characters are allowed to have flaws. Growth cannot happen without flaws. I mean, he's still but that's the thing though, like I don't think, according to the article, it doesn't say that they're sanitizing him. It just like they said, some mostly one character is getting changed, but their intentions. But what it says, like, what is it? The story, the character's thoughts, or how they act are still relatively staying the same. But I think they're trying to make some of their phrasings match with the current times. They're trying to rephrase it to make more sense, but they're not using incel or chud or internet language. I don't think them being that far away from Tokyo would say that would say that. So I don't know. I might have said nothing. I might have said something, but let me know what your thoughts are.